Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible, a Wood Elf production, with your hosts Mark, Bob, and Wade. This week, the terrible trio cannily confabulate about the canvases and cookpots of camaraderie, the activity of camping. Please prepare thy bug spray and enjoy the show.
Hey guys, welcome to the Distractible podcast. Here we discuss anything that interests us and compete to see who can bring the most captivating stories to the table. Whoever brings the best stories, as judged by me, will be declared the winner of the podcast and will earn the right to host next week's episode and play the role of judge. I'm Wade Barnes, joined today by Mark Fishbach. Hey Mark.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, you sound great.
Thank you.
And Bob Myskins as well. Hi Bob.
Hello. I appreciate that you said my whole name.
Yeah, you're welcome. I could say like more if you want, like your full 5-name name.
Say my social security. Tell my mother's maiden name.
Street you grew up on. First pet's name.
Just get it all out there. Got nothing to hide.
We've known each other for a long time, but I know very little actually about you now that I think about it. Like I don't know your mom's maiden name.
Wow.
You know what we should do? We should actually do. There's 36 questions that are like scientifically proven to make people fall in love with each other. Like we should do that.
We should fall in love with each other?
No, just do the questions. They're very good for getting to know people.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're very deep questions. You know, we should get to know each other.
What's your favorite color? What's your credit card number?
Those don't seem like associated questions, but okay.
No, what? No, one, they logically follow. You just have to pay close attention to the between the lines. Anyway, we're gonna move on immediately before people think about that. What were we doing today? I'm hosting an episode about
Oh my
credit
God.
cards, camping.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
actual voice crack. Oh my god. What are we doing today, guys?
No, that was staged. I practiced that.
I'm sorry. So what was the topic? Host who definitely knows.
Oh, it's camping, traveling, doing stuff outdoors, the old vacation, anything and everything to do with that stuff.
Okay, question.
Yes.
A lot of stuff.
Do we have to be the ones that are doing the stuff in the woods?
Obviously.
What does that mean? Oh,
If it was,
no.
Yeah, no, if it was like someone that I knew that did these things that I'm about to say, and it wasn't me at all.
Are they illegal?
Where are we talking about?
In the woods, I think. That's what you just said.
Is
Didn't
this a
right?
story about you murdering someone and trying to get away?
No one said murder.
I mean, I did.
I was thinking
but-
sex. Murder too is what I meant. I was thinking murder too. Yeah, no, anything goes. Bonus points to Mark for having that question.
Thank
Oh, I got questions. You want questions? I got questions.
Oh, by all means.
Whoa. If we're giving out bonus points.
Yeah.
How long is both your legs together? And why do I need to know that? You don't get to know the answer to that one. That's a question for me.
How long is what with
Also-
my legs together?
When is the next time you are going to bring chicken wings to my house? Because I miss when you used to do that.
Did I do that? Is that a different?
Yeah, you
way?
can just DoorDash them. That's fine. Just DoorDash me chicken wings like once a day.
I mean, I guess like, am I getting reimbursed or is this just me doing it out of the kindness of my wallet?
Out of the kindness of your heart, you a-hole.
It's a friend.
All right, well, Mark, you do it for me. I'll do it for Bob. And
Well, I'm not your friend.
I take back those bonus points.
Oh.
How many bonus points do I get for my awesome questions? And how long are both your legs together? I'm actually curious.
I'm gonna say 12 bonus points, which is a good amount of wings to eat, but not enough for me, but a decent amount for probably
Wait.
how much I should eat.
I got one more question for you.
Oh boy.
You want to go camping with me?
I cautiously am saying yes.
Excellent. Very good.
That feels like a mistake.
I think
Okay,
so
good.
too, but curiosity gets the best of me sometimes.
What are you, a cat?
Oh,
You some
gee
kind of
whiz,
dumb
Wade, what
cat?
have you got yourself into this time? So
I'm sorry. Did you say that out loud and think to yourself, all right, pause for the enormous laugh and just give him a second and
someone out there laughed.
it'll come. Keep pausing.
I take back your bonus points too.
didn't even give me most
Well,
points.
I gave you some now, and I take them away too.
Oh, that seems unfair.
Oh God, Judge, reel this in. Come on. Let's pick this up.
Yeah. So, all right, you little friends of mine. We're gonna talk about camping. Do you all have your stories and tales and friend stories, friend of a friend stories to tell?
Yeah, you know we do. You know it.
Do I get bonus points if I'm in my own story because it actually happened and it's not made up baloney?
You don't
bull
know
honky?
what I did in the woods on June 22nd of 2011.
You're right.
You don't know.
I feel compelled to give you bonus points because you asked for them, so sure.
Me?
No, Bob asked. He said, do I get bonus points for being in my story?
Oh, fuck you, man.
You didn't ask me for bonus points.
Can I have bonus points?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, how many?
I reserve that knowledge till the end when I decide who I want to
you,
win,
man.
and I'll adjust accordingly.
Just get on with it. Let's just get it over.
All right, whatever.
In the mouth,
All
Mark.
right. Everyone take a deep breath and then, I don't know, tell me the titles of your story or whatever.
No, in.
I breathed in. That's just not as audible.
Fine, tell me the titles in your story. That doesn't make any sense.
Did you hear?
Great, that was solid, guys. High fives all around.
Anyway, I'm going to read my title now.
Yeah, please.
For everyone listening at home, we do this professionally. The title of my my story is
The Day the Mountain Swallowed.
I kind of want to meet that mountain.
I feel like that might beat mine, but mine kind of hangs with that. My story is entitled "Out of the River."
And into the axe murderer's den.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie, that's pretty good.
Those are both pretty good, but I'm a sucker for swallowing, Mark, so you get to go first.
Hell yeah. How many points I get for that?
No.
No, you're not.
Well, I was about to
Tell your
assign some,
story.
but whenever you started begging, it really made me not want to give any, so...
Yeah, but how many do I get?
4.
Yes. All right.
4
I'll take it.
points.
Anyway, okay. So the day the mountain swallowed. I want you all to close your eyes, okay? Imagine.
I went searching for the truth, and like a fool I found it. But some truths are best left undiscovered. Well, I turned around and there it was. It was bigger than I could have imagined. The hikers claim that when they turned around, it seemed as though their friend had simply vanished. And when I turned around, my whole farm was gone. I don't believe in ghosts. But when I turned around, I couldn't explain what I was seeing. This is Morbid Mysteries of the Missing Millennium. Viewer discretion is advised.
Imagine you're out camping. You've been hiking all day. You're in the middle of nowhere in the mountainous regions of the Appalachian Mountains, okay? Oh, sorry, Rocky Mountains.
It's way harder to visualize.
Those are the Swallowing Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains, they're the Spitting Mountains. Okay, it's Rocky Mountains, okay? You've made it up a lovely trail, very challenging, not too challenging. You don't want to push yourself too hard, but you're tired and you want to set up camp, and you find a nice little spot, like a plateau underneath the peak of the mountain. It's not too high up that it's too cold, you know. It's a nice little level area, and you set up your tent, and you get inside, and you lay down your head to rest, and then you start to drift off to sleep when you hear the mountain start shaking.
You're alone, right? This isn't alone.
Oh, yeah, you're camping alone. You're by yourself.
Who the
yeah,
hell
of course.
goes camping alone? What a nerd. Anyway, continue.
When you say that I hear the mountain start shaking, is it like I hear the rumble, or do I hear like the mountain has a fever and the mountain is all and it's like shaking? Because I'm trying to really accurately visualize
It's a
what you
little
want me
bit
to
of
go.
both. That's how weird it
Okay.
is. You hear the mountain rumbling, and you quickly run out of your tent for fear of maybe a volcano or something. And in the darkness, lit by the moonlight, you look up on yonder mountain peak, and your eyes deceive you because you swear you see glimmering teeth looming over you. And then it rushes down the hill, sliding, plowing trees out of the way. A gaping mouth the size of a minivan is barreling towards you down from the peak of the mountain. You barely dive out of the way just in time for it to scoop up your entire tent and then continue its journey across the plateau and down the lip, down the rest of the mountain. You hear the cacophony of trees being munched and crunched as this monstrous beast, the size of a whale, slides down the mountain. The slide rock bolter.
Ew.
Lurking at the top of mountaintops by a hooked tail, it lurks, waiting for unsuspecting creatures to be at the base of where its path would take it, and it just opens its mouth and it slides down and scoops everyone up alive. I'm going to show you a picture of this thing. This is like, I can't. Windows Explorer has crashed on my computer. Hang on. It's been giving me trouble. Hang on.
This is coming out of your point
Excuses
total.
to me. Hang on.
No. Come on, guys. I don't know why I can't click and drag anything out of. Why can't I click and drag something out of Win? Okay, hang on.
AOL
What's it called?
broadband
Should we
is
just
taking a moment to
Should
respond.
we just Google it?
If I press a button on, I'm opening a million windows. Hang on.
This is a professional podcast.
It's a professional podcast. Okay, I put this in my stock photos folder. It's under fire for some reason. I don't know, but hang on.
Please tell us more about your storage
I
system.
Googled it because I'm
no,
not waiting for you.
hold on.
Oh, wow.
There it is. Boom.
Oh, there you go.
That person in the middle is very dead.
Oh yeah, they fell. Yeah, that's no good.
This is a very big creature to be on top of a mountain waiting for like a raccoon to like wander. I mean, this thing needs to eat bears. Look at it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, if it gets a couple big animals, it's sliding all the way down the mountain. All it has to do is slowly crawl its way back up. It hooks at the tippy top, and then it just like lets go when there's enough in the way. It's like bowling, but the pins are all lined up and they move and they scream.
I like the lady that's sitting next to the steam engine pipe on its back.
Oh, there's someone on there?
Yeah.
I think that's a statue.
Oh,
Look, I don't know.
of course.
Look at the other picture I submitted. That one has less ridiculousness. So this
Oh, okay.
thing, it
Oh,
oozes lube out of its mouth.
I like the
ease-
swallowing in the first image better.
Well, no.
Okay.
Shut up. There's no ooze in that picture. So this
The
other
judge to
picture.
shut up. That's a minus 30 points.
Okay, whatever. It can't go negative. The lube. So I forgot about the story when you noticed your tent slowly filling with a viscous fluid. I failed to mention that because it slobbers down the mountain and then it just slides and eats everything up.
I was going to say, I'm having trouble with the scale of this. These are either some tiny little mountains in these depictions or friction does not exist for this animal, but it barfs out its own lube. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, the hook tail. See, the thing is, it looks like a whale, right? So maybe
It does. Kind of looks like a giant catfish whale murder monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So some kind of offshoot of a whale existed and lurked at the top of mountains. It's genius.
Some kind of crazy ass whale was like, you know what? Fuck water. Mountaintops. And reality was like, how are you going to climb to the top of a mountain? Whale that dies if you get 10 feet onto the beach and you're still half in the water, but you're so heavy no one can get you back in the water. So for some reason we explode you. And the whale's like, fuck you. My tail's a hook. I'm on top of a mountain now. Fucking idiot.
Don't whales have blowholes? Don't they breathe like normal air?
Breathe there like
They
real
breathe air,
humans.
yeah.
Why do they die on the beach? Just because they can't move and eat or something?
They're fucking enormous. They're huge. Have you seen a whale?
I get that, but I mean, like, does it sit there for a while till they like starve? Like, what kills them? Is it they dry out?
They're supposed to be in the water, Wade.
They can't move.
The food they eat is in the water. Their friends and family are in the water.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I didn't know if it was something with their skin, like if their skin dries out, or if it was the starvation, or what it was.
They don't get 5C phone service. That's water only.
That would kill me.
Gotta be.
5C.
So
I really appreciate that
I
joke.
appreciate that you laughed at that. That's a
Mark laughed.
softball.
I laughed. An extra 20 points, Bob.
We all know that Bob's whale humor is just top notch.
Why'd you confuse me with a whale?
His whale humor, his Wade humor.
It's a niche that you don't get to explore very frequently. But when I go into whale humor, everyone around me is in danger of death by laughter.
It's really a fascinating endeavor. Many an improv scene has been based on the mechanics of whales. But what I imagine is because when they're in the water, the buoyancy of water, it helps like keep them not squooshed down from gravity. And their lungs probably get smooshed if they're on the beach. That's what I imagine. I think the technical terms is smooshed.
Are you a marine biologist? You know those
that's
words?
me. Yes. PhD in whale smooshing.
If it's not artificial, is it official smooshination? Would that be the?
Well, I think the opposite of art would be science official.
Science officialation.
Science official smooshination.
So could this have been like, someone was like Jurassic Parking a whale, like, flying it around and they dropped it on the mountain, but the whale was so drooly it found a way to survive?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to go with absolutely yes.
So many different types of depictions of this thing.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to agree on how drunk they were and what exactly they hallucinated, because the variation here between all these different things is really killing my immersion.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I found my favorite one.
Oh, yeah, good.
That's the one, guys.
That's a baby bolter.
It's like a little footworm monster.
Ah, man, that's adorable. You got to imagine, like, it's got to be, like, somewhat effective, because if it's so big, all it's got to do is slide down. It just, like, it kind of makes sense if you think about it.
How long does it take to get back to the top of the mountain with its hook tail and long, otherwise limbless body?
I don't know. I've never observed it in the wild. I've only read stories about it.
Does it have like an anti-gravity gland where it can just slide back up on its own lube trail?
No, probably not, but we could say yes if that makes you happier.
It does.
Okay, it does. It has an anti-gravity gland that just makes it fly right up. Can I say something about have you guys seen Godzilla vs. King Kong?
No, have not yet.
No.
Okay, there's a scene in there where they use a bunch of helicopters to lift King Kong, and it made me so mad because they had like 20 helicopters, and you'd think, okay, 20 helicopters, that can lift a lot. King Kong is the size of a building. A building weighs like 200,000 tons. And like people did the math of what King Kong would weigh if those helicopters at their max capacity was lifting King Kong, and it's like works out to 130 kilograms or 130 tons. Sorry, 130 tons.
Kilograms.
But 130 tons, like how heavy is a truck? Shut up.
He's the size of a building, so how much is a truck
No,
weigh?
hang on, shut up. The Falcon 9. How heavy?
You all right, Mark?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay. Falcon 9 weighs like 550,000 kilograms, which is like 550 tons in metric. Like it just. Am I the one here? Like they could do a lot of stretches for science, but King Kong does not weigh 130 tons. Like,
have you ever considered maybe they fed King Kong a bunch of helium to make him lighter before they lifted him?
I did not.
Did they shave off his fur? Because damp monkey fur can be pretty heavy.
No, they didn't, and they just took him out of the ocean, so it would have been very damp. The smell alone must have been horrifying.
Oh, man.
Well, helicopters blow down, so the air would have been pushed down, not up.
Going over a city, and people are like, look, Ma!
That's more likely, yeah.
I'm assuming he was unconscious that he was participating in an airlift, but I like the vision of a King Kong suspended by a bunch of ropes like a big puppet flying over a city, hurling bust-sized turds all around the city as he's being transported over wherever, Tokyo or wherever this took place. I don't know. It's usually in like Japan or something, right?
Yeah. What a way to go. What, you see this giant turd coming down on you. God.
The government officials on TV like, yes, we know about the giant turd situation. Please stay inside. It's been eating a lot of soft food, so it should be pretty squishy. It's just a matter of cleaning it up as long as you don't get a direct hit. We really need him to go fight the giant lizard monster, okay?
God, man. Imagine if you aren't killed right away. Imagine if you have to suffocate.
It's like an avalanche, but it's just a huge shit. You're like buried 20 feet under, just laying there, unable to move, like, God, hello, help.
Now we're assuming a firm stool. A loose stool might be scarier even.
I don't know. Either way, not good. And then, but I'm more outraged at the incorrect science than anything.
I'm back in the weird whale worm salamander monster.
Or just a whale. I don't know, man.
I still feel like friction is a big problem.
Lube!
Guy.
Lube
Has limits.
Lube has no limits.
Like the old sex ed song they always made us sing in middle school. Lube has limits.
Have there been any advances in lube technology lately?
That's a good question.
The greatest lubricant innovation in the last decade! What the hell? By Hank Hogan. What the fuck?
Hank the Toolman Hogan?
Water mixed metalworking fluids which are formaldehyde free and boron free. Was this in lube?
I think you need organic lube technology, because clearly this is synthetic. I'm pretty sure that the whatever the hell mountain bolter douchebag is, it's an organic substance.
Oh, this is for like engine lube. This is a different lube.
That's what Bob was saying, but in a more professional manner. Yeah.
Yeah. I apologize. I'll consult lubetech.com and get informed. You carry on with whatever you were going to say, Bob.
Well, I suppose it's time for me to tell my story or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for something with no lube, mountains, or whale catfish eating you in your sleep?
Probably.
Sure.
I kind of made it sound like it was going to be worse, but it's not. Trust me, it's cool.
I can't tell if you're underselling this story or overselling it. Or perfectly median selling it.
I'm dead on selling it. So my story, for your consideration, out of the river
And into the axe murderer's den.
So this story comes from the summer right after I graduated from high school, summer of 2007. The summer right before I met you fellers at college.
Nice.
All my high school buddies and I were going to different schools. Some of them were going to schools together, but no one else was coming to the University of Cincinnati. Well, none of my like close group, some random people, but I didn't care about them. And we were like, we got to celebrate this. This is a milestone. We're done. We graduated. We made it. We survived. And so all the guys were like, you know what? We should do a trip. Like a group trip that we'll all remember, we can bond. And the trip turned out to be an unbelievably epic journey that I literally remember vividly, have not forgotten a day in my life. And also, it's a thing I would never have signed up for had I known going in what it was. If someone came to me and was like, this is what we're doing, are you in? I would have been like, nah, I'm good. But because I all in and it was with my buddies and I let them plan it, I got sucked into this crazy ass journey. And so for context, the group that was going on this trip was 5 guys. 2 of us were normies. The other 3 were all Eagle Scouts, which if you don't know is like the highest rank you can achieve in Boy Scouts.
We all know Tyler.
You go on all these like crazy high adventure things. Like you go to this place in like New Mexico where you backpack for like 2 or 3 weeks, like Boy Scout stuff. Like imagine stereotypical, they're into that. Camping, canoeing, whatever. Me and Normie friend let the Eagle Scout boys plan our little trip. So it comes to like the Saturday morning where we're all going. We drive to like the middle of nowhere. Basically, they've told us it's a camping trip. They didn't give us like no prep, but they were like, you know, we got tents and stuff coming out our ass. We'll bring all the campy stuff. Just bring what you think you'll need for like camping, like maybe bug spray, sunscreen, whatever. Pack a lunch. And Normie friend and I were like, okay, I can handle that. Like, you know, cooking wieners on the campfire or whatever. So we leave super fucking early so we can get to this place early in the morning and do what we're going to do. We arrive at like 8 a.m. at this place that rents kayaks and canoes. And everyone is like hyped. I've never done kayaking or canoeing in my life, but how hard can it be? You sit down, the river pushes you. I'm like, how hard can this be? We're just going to sit and hang out for a few hours and like go down this river. And so we get the whole spiel. The guy's giving us life jackets, explaining how it works. And he's like, okay, I'm going to drive you upriver. So he starts driving us. We all get in his big van, starts driving us to the starting point. It takes way longer than I would have thought. Like a solid 45-minute drive. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, cars go pretty fast. Like we weren't like crawling. We were going like, 40 miles an hour, 45. And I was like, how long is this kayak trip? Like maybe it's really windy. Maybe it takes way longer to drive up there. I was like, I'm still here. I'm on board. And Normie friend and I think, are sharing the same thing because he's starting to look a little concerned. We finally get there. 45 minutes later, we get to the place where there's just like a pile of kayaks by the side of a river, and that's it. We all get out of the van, and dude's like, all right, here you go. This is your starting point. Have fun, guys. And like drives away. And the Eagle Scouts are very dutifully like putting their waterproof bags onto their kayaks and getting set up. And Normie and I are like, So what do we just put one of these in the water, and it's not promising. At this point, we learn we have fully committed to and have no way to get out of a 26-mile kayak journey down the river.
Now, for someone who has never kayaked before, I've canoed. Is 26 miles by river a long way?
From what I understand, if you're going on like a casual like Saturday family canoe trip, you might do like 4 to 8 miles, low key.
Sorry, I just Googled longest kayak, like trying to get like a journey, and I just got this thing. And I just wanted to
You got an actual long kayak.
Oh my god!
For everyone at home, maybe
There's
this will
like
be on the
80
website.
people on this kayak.
I don't know if it's Photoshop. Is this real?
It's a foot-long hot dog of a kayak with like 30 people in
How
it.
do you turn around?
Yeah, how do you turn?
That's a huge river, but there's still. How do you turn? You've got to block traffic across an entire river to turn around.
Oh my god. LL Bean celebrates 100 years with the world's longest modular kayak. This thing is... How long is this? It's 500 feet long!
How long would that stop traffic in the Suez Canal?
Oh my god. Holy shit. That I still don't think that's as long as the... No way. The Suez Canal.
It was
boat.
definitely longer than 500 feet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
It's
sure.
1,312 feet. That would make this
Close.
kayak look shrimpy as hell.
I think a boat should always make a kayak look trippy.
We can go farther. We can go bigger.
I would love to have been here for this kayak situation, and they start like paddling away, and it just starts breaking apart because it said modular, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of segments like stuck together with pins or just like wedged together. I don't know how it works, but like the front breaks off and the back starts spinning around, and no one would sink because it's like one of those where you sit on top and it floats no matter what.
Yeah,
Or it's like a
yeah.
Titanic situation where just like one end of the people goes
Someone in the middle starts freaking out, rolls the whole thing over.
Yeah. Person in front's like, iceberg, turn left. What? Which way?
There's like one elderly couple in a duo kayak, like enjoying a scenic river, and this thing just comes like full speed, no turning, no stopping. The apocalypse of kayaks.
What do they do if they come across like a slight waterfall or something, but like the front end just hang off as the rest of it like has to catch up?
Absolutely.
It would turn into a water slide, so it would reach all the way over and then down, and then everyone in the back would slide. in the front.
Person at the front definitely drowns as the hundreds of other people slide down onto them.
I love this kayak.
Oh, anyway, sorry. I was just I had to share
So
that.
that's basically what we were dropped off to, but like
Right,
shorter. And so this is where the serious issues start to really shine for my normie friend and myself. They had told us to pack a lunch, right? They didn't say pack a waterproof lunch. Maybe they did and I missed it. Our Eagle Scout friends had these bags that like are waterproof no matter what. Like put your cell phone in it, keeps it safe, totally watertight. Normie friend and I had lunch bags, brown paper lunch bags with just like a sandwich in it. And the kayaks that we had, there were the open top kind where you sit on top and you put your bag behind you or in between your legs. There's no enclosure. There's no dry compartment. It's a floating log that you have to sit on top of and paddle down the river. And so like, this is the first inkling where I'm seriously considering like, ooh, this is going to be a little more than I anticipated. But like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so we all get our boats. The Eagle Scouts are trying to teach us how kayaking works. And I'm like, it's a paddle. It's fine. It's not that easy. It takes a lot of core strength to sit up in a kayak. I don't know if you've ever done it. It's very wobbly. But finally, we're in the water. We're going. Everything's fine. No one gets, your feet get wet. No lunches get wet. We go for maybe like half a mile, maybe less. And we come across the river being not a river at all. It's gravel. And not like a little bit of gravel, like a couple 100 feet of dry as a bone gravel across the whole thing. As it turned out, there was not a very good rainy season that spring, and the entire river was low.
Your lunch was saved.
So yeah, my lunch wasn't going to get wet. Neither was the kayak or my feet or anything else. The way you resolve this is you have to get out, drag your kayak over the dry part, and get back in on the other side. This quickly became a theme of the trip. The entire river is low. 26 miles. I think possibly 20 of those miles were dry, dragging our dumbass kayaks over non-floating surfaces. And like, for again, another tip for beginning kayakers, getting in and out without it dumping over and looking like a total dumbass is like the hardest part. Kayaks are not inherently stable. And like every time getting in and out is like a gamble of like, ooh, am I going to bust my head open on some rocks or is this fine? Anyway, so that's river trial number 1. It goes on for the entire trip.
I also looked up a kayak weighs about 35 pounds, so you're carrying a toddler with you.
It's
across.
way more than that.
You're dragging a large toddler across a gravel bed.
Does that include the weight of the paddles?
Paddles are not heavy. They're just awkward.
Oh, okay.
They're long, but they're pretty lightweight. They're like hollow metal tubes. But so just quickly dovetails into river trial number 2, which is that my kayak was slowly gaining weight.
That's always a good sign.
It turned out somehow, of the mountain of kayaks that were sitting at the start, I picked one with like a pinhole in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's slow. So, and the pinhole's not like on the bottom, it's like on the side somewhere, but I'm a big boy. And so as I'm sitting drowning this poor kayak, it's slowly filling with water the whole time. And not where it's like I'm sitting there and 2 minutes later I'm like, oh, I'm sinking. Hours later, we realize my kayak is filled with like a few gallons of water at this point, which is not enough to sink it, but it's enough that like my butt started to get wet, right? Like the whole thing is drooping in the water. It's a serious issue. Totally fucked at this point with a slowly sinking non-fixable kayak that I have to drag across a bunch of dry spots in the river. So luckily, the resolution is that we eventually come to another spot. Apparently there were shorter trips along this river. And so we come to another spot, a drop-off spot, where it's like, this was not a kayak drop-off spot, unfortunately, but there were canoes. So one of my friends sacked his kayak and I dumped my sinking piece of shit kayak, and we grab a canoe. If you know anything about canoes, canoe paddles are short and maneuverable because you got to sort of paddle on both sides of a canoe. Kayak paddles are maybe twice or 3 times as long as canoe paddles. But that's all we have. So our 2 idiots, well, me, idiot, and Eagle Scout friend, climb into this canoe and try and pilot it with these giant fucking unwieldy kayak paddles.
There weren't canoe paddles with the canoes?
No, they were just canoes piled up there. You get the paddles from the place where you park your car.
I mean, if you think about it, you probably could have made a canoe paddle. You did have 3 Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts with you, rather.
We considered cutting our kayak paddles in half, but we thought that the dude who owned the place might find that kind of rude.
That's his fault. He was driving you up the mountain. He didn't look out the window and be like, "Oh, the river's kind of dry today. I don't know if I should." Whatever.
No, he knew. He definitely knew, but he didn't say shit. In the car ride up there, he may have been like, oh, there might be some low spots. You'll be fine. Just drag it over. He fucking knew. There's no way you own a kayak canoe rental place and you don't know that your river is totally shit and mostly rocks. But this leads us to the grand finale of the river, trial number 3.
The log.
The log.
This is a common occurrence. So we had one guy in the front who sort of knew what he was doing, and the rest of us were following. And he would pick out the route, right? Sometimes in the parts where you could float, there would be like obstacles. There'd be like a rock or get narrow or whatever. And the whole time he's like, rock, log, and he's pointing things out, and we're all going around it. At some point, there's this blind turn, and we see him disappear around the turn ahead of us, and he just calls out from the distance like, log! And we're like, okay, there's a log somewhere. And the other guy in the kayak at this, or one of the other guys in the kayak at this point is like, cool, I got this, and goes speeding around this corner and just fucking nails the log perfectly. Like, not like he nicked it and it tipped him over. He dug the nose of his kayak into the log, the back swung around, and he blocked the whole river with his kayak.
Oh my God, it's a Suez Canal.
I knew it.
Oh.
He Suez'd us. That's exactly what he did.
Damn.
And he fell out, so he was like floating kind of away. He couldn't move his kayak. A canoe and a kayak are coming around this blind corner to a fully blocked off river. Everyone went in the water except for the douchebag in the front who looked so smug about the whole thing. But as you recall, 2 of us normie idiots had our lunches packed in brown paper bags. Let me tell you what else is not waterproof. Cheap Ziploc bag that you put your sandwich in and didn't seal very carefully because you didn't think you'd be needing to keep river water out.
Oh, no.
A cheap water bottle that doesn't really seal very well and you'll have to keep upright or it leaks out and or river water leaks into it. None of my food was waterproof at this point. Yeah, so I ate a soggy sandwich for lunch. I didn't eat the chips. They didn't fare very well, but the log stole my food and I'm still pretty upset about it.
Didn't you say at the beginning of this that this was the most epic adventure that you would like remember for the rest of your life?
I do. This is not scripted out. I didn't write any of these details out. I'm remembering this and actively becoming increasingly angry about it as I'm remembering all the shit that happened.
You said it was to the axe murderer's den, and I'm like, where between the axe murderer's den and now does it get to the epic adventure part?
That's it. That's the epic adventure, pretty much. I mean, so for the river, that's it. The rest of it is we get to the end. We started at like 9 a.m. on the river.
Yeah.
We got to where our car was parked at about 8 p.m. I want to say almost 12 whole hours of kayaking. Literally, my entire hands were blisters. Everything hurt. I hated everything. The douchebags who knew how to kayak were like, yeah, that was pretty good. But like, I thought I was going to die. But then we get to the end of the river and we have to camp. And as it turns out, the campsite we booked is an axe murderer's fucking murder valley.
What?
So we're in northern Ohio, right? So we turn all our shit in. We're like, okay, we just got to go set up camp. It's already dark because the kayak trip took way longer than we thought. From the kayak place, we drove into the deepest valley and it was so dark. Like it was dark out, but when you drive down into a valley that's got trees and stuff in it, it gets darker, right? There's no sunlight coming in. It gets darker and darker as you go down. It was one of those valleys where it's just like filled with mist. It wasn't really foggy out on the surface, but as we descended to where we were camping, it was like driving into a bowl of fog. Couldn't see maybe 20 feet in front of the car, driving deeper, can't see maybe 10 feet in front of the car. We find the campsite by parking the car, getting out with our phone flashlights or whatever, and like kicking the dirt around until we find a fire pit. We're like, okay, this must be a campsite. We aim the car headlights towards the fire pit. If you know how light works in fogs, you can't see shit. Like all you see is fog in front of your face everywhere. And it honestly felt like we were in a horror movie in the place where the axe murderer lives in a cabin in the woods and waits for unsuspecting teens to come camp. It was with the fog swirling, with everyone having flashlights and trying to do stuff, shadows were whipping everywhere. And of course, we couldn't fit everything in one car, so we had to do 2 trips, right? No. I don't know how we all drove up in one car from home, but we had to ferry a couple of us over. I guess it was people drying stuff off and trying to get ready. So me and one other of the Eagle Scout boys were like the first team to get driven over. The car dropped us off and we started working, and then the car guy was like, all right, I'm gonna go pick up the other 2 dudes. And it was just me and Eagle Scout boy with handheld flashlights in the misty darkness of a valley at like 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. We're trying to assemble a tent. We're trying to get some kind of fire going. The fire makes it worse. Fire like dances and it makes the shadows flicker all around. It felt like the 2 of us were alone there for like hours. We were probably alone for like 20 minutes when they went to pick up our other friends. And we were literally having panic attacks. At some point, we stopped doing anything to get the camp ready and stood back to back with our flashlights, just looking out into the mist like, hello? We're boys, so don't kill us. It's not fun to kill teenage boys.
The best thing you can do when there's no visibility is make a loud noise to announce where you are.
Well, the axe murderer can see in the fog. Everybody knows that.
That's what you know. If you can go into a foggy area and all your friends are like, man, it's foggy, and you can see everything, you know what you're going to do.
It's like a career test.
Yeah, the career fair. There's just a foggy corner.
There's a whole tent at the career fair. Foggy room with like letters on the wall. There's a person asleep. You see if you sneak into their dreams. There's a bunch of TVs and you see if you can come out of them.
Yeah. They're all playing static, but if you could speak through one and go out another,
One loner kid walks into the TV room and all the TVs just like become faces and they start talking, and the people at the career fair are like,
we know. This is why we do what we do. You know what, little girl? Your job is chosen. Your destiny is fulfilled. The salary is minimum wage. You can't do anything.
I hated career day too, but I don't remember it being this fucking terrifying.
That's because you couldn't see in the fog. Yeah, sorry.
You just weren't fit. You're more of a fire watcher type.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know if that's what you want to be saying to a judge, but honestly, I appreciate your honesty, Bob. 30 points.
Have I gotten any points?
He told you got a bunch of points.
But then he deducted something. Oh, did you? I didn't hear. How many points I got?
Some, probably.
I don't care.
I deducted
I don't
60.
care. Shut up. Bob, continue the story.
I mean, so that's pretty much it. And like our friends come back, we cook some hot dogs over the fire and hang out. Once all 5 of us are there, it feels like, you know, even if something happened, we could all take them. The Eagle Scouts have got some, you know, knives or whatever, pocket knife sort of things. We're fine. We're safe. And we sleep in the tents. And like, that's one of the most exhausted nights of sleep I've ever had. Because camping, you're not comfortable. It's not a bed, right? It's like an inflatable pad and a sleeping bag. I laid down and my whole body was just like, yes. And then I fell right asleep and like everything just hurt and I slept so hard. But yeah, we were fine. We woke up, we went home the next morning. That trip, describing it and even hearing myself tell it back, it sounds miserable, right? Like it sounds kind of terrible for me. I love it. I fucking love that I have that experience. Me and those 4 other dudes share this crazy ass experience that all these nonsense things happen and we had all these problems, and that I feel like I will literally remember for the rest of my life and remember those guys. I love stories like that where everything is just like, while it's happening, it's just shit, just garbage. Everything goes wrong, but you get to the end of it and you're just like, man, we shared that. We did that together. We survived, man. Like our tour. We survived, man. It's terrible. Garbage.
Yeah.
But man, we did it.
Every minute of that.
Yeah, man. I've had days like that. But on a different note, I thought that story was going to end with you being like, and that day I was killed by an axe murderer. My ghost has haunted ever since.
You thought the ending of the story, Bob is alive here telling us today, was going to end in his death.
No, that's the crazy part. He's been dead all along. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, the hard days are the most rewarding.
Nope, I still hate all the ones I've lived through.
It has to be the right kind of hard.
Yeah.
The wrong kind of hard just sucks.
And the right kind of lube to help get through it.
Yeah, gotta have that. Oh God, I remembered this time that Amy and I did kayak before because it was either kayaking or canoeing, and we were on the river, and it was totally normal except this other set of kayaks to the right. Like in the middle of the journey, someone discovered that someone else had cheated on them. Like with a person they were kayaking with, and they started screaming. We were in kind of a group, like there was like 20 of us, like we didn't all know each other, but we all departed at the same time.
Sure.
And then they just started screaming and echoing in the valley, and then they pulled off to one of those gravel pits that you were talking about, and they got out of the canoe and they started like throwing their paddles around and like started fighting each other. We're like, holy shit, and everyone just started calling the police. And we're on the river, all of us on our cell phones, like, yeah, I don't know how you're gonna get here, but there's a big fight.
You guys have like police canoes? Come down here with the
Police canoe.
Yeah,
police.
They got police seals.
It was violent enough to call the police? I mean, I guess that makes sense. That's kind of a rough topic.
I mean, they were fighting. Like, it was not just screaming. As soon as they got on land, fists were flying. They were throwing their water cooler. Like, it was going down. We all, like, stopped talking. We were just floating in the river. And when we started floating by, like, none of us were, we're all looking. We're just like, oh, goodbye now.
Just like a dozen kayaks, everyone sitting motionless, randomly drifting around, not pointing downriver or anything, like pointing in random directions. Everyone just sitting there like,
oh. Yeah. I mean, exactly.
God, flow faster. Come on, river. Come on.
Just going through the worst moment of your life and you look over and 20 people are floating by in dead silence just staring at you.
I mean, yeah, but they were too preoccupied to know anything. I mean, we really were just like, well, we can't paddle faster because would that be weird? Like, are we running away from it? Should we keep an eye on it? Like, it was just like a bunch of internal debates.
How does that come out in the middle of a canoeing? Is the person who did it just like, all right, we're surrounded by people. There's no weapons nearby. Hey, I cheated. Like,
I'm imagining the fight was between two dudes. And at some point, they were all just on the river. And the one dude and his girlfriend were sort of hidden there. And the other dude kayaked up next to him and was just like, hey, Jessica, you remember when we had sex the other night? And then Brad was like, whoa, Jeremy, what the fuck? And then they pulled off on the gravel pit to like paddle joust and work it out.
That's actually pretty much it. I didn't know the originating cause, but it did kind of escalate like that. It started with a big ol' what the fuck? And, you know, just like splashing water at each other. Like,
like total inexperienced kayakers like weak-armedly splashing at each other, like trying not to fall out of their kayak. Every move is like, it's sploosh. Oh, God.
It's like you're instantly in an episode of, what was that show, like American Gladiators? Was that it?
Yeah.
You got your two paddles and
The
you're on
Q-tip
you're on
battle.
the log, and they jump out of their kayaks on the log, and they're like spinning it with their kayak paddles like, you're gonna fall. And I'm like, no, I'm not, bitch. You cheated.
No, I'm not, bitch. You cheated. I imagine it was like a nice conversation. The dude's like, hey, man, look, don't you worry about it. You're not a third wheel at all. We're just happy to have you here with us. And the dude's like, well, actually, you're the third wheel. What? Yeah, I've been sleeping with your girl for like 2 years. She's mine now. All right, dead silence is the reaction I was hoping for there. Thanks, guys.
I mean, what am I gonna say? Yes, that is how it went down. Yeah.
Yes.
You got
Good one.
Any sound, like maybe just breathing, I don't know, just a noise would have been better than...
It was an example of what we were doing during the like kayak pass by.
That's kind of how I felt. Bob, 300 points for your story.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mark, you get 400 points for making me Google lube. But you've told me to shut up, I think, 4 times, which is a deduction of 120 points. So, Bob,
Fair. Okay, all right,
Bob, you win.
all right, cool. All right.
I was trying really hard to steer this to give Mark a win, but like I just couldn't not deduct all the points.
What about the whole long kayak thing? Does that give me anything?
That's about my story. Come on now. I got kayaks in here.
He did find the image of the long kayak.
That's true. That's pretty funny.
That's extra 50 points.
Does he win or does I win? I don't care about the numbers.
I kind of have lost track at this point.
I know.
I'm going to call it a tie. You both lose, and Bob didn't tell me to shut up, so Bob wins by default.
Wow.
Wait, what?
The come from beside victory.
Extra point for no shut up Wades from Bob.
All right, that's fair. You know, it's fair.
That breaks the tie.
Well, I am the nice one, so.
Well, you gonna wrap it up, Dick Lord, or you gonna keep yammering?
Am I Dick Lord?
Yeah,
You're the host, right?
Oh, that's an
you're-
extra
you're
2
the
points, Mark. I appreciate the compliment.
All right, cool.
I already won. It's been decided. Calm down.
Oh,
Run
yeah,
through the
extra 2
outro.
points for Bob for already having won. I don't know. I'm the judge. I get points how I want.
For already having won. I like the way you think.
Oh, I was one of the best hosts this podcast has ever known. I'm at least top 3.
Well, I got to give you top 3
Yeah, I give him top 3.
All right.
until we start having guests.
Well, congrats on Sorry, I think I punched myself in the nuts there. Bob, congrats on winning. Everyone listening, make sure you're subscribed so you always know when there's a new episode of Distractible. Follow Mark. He's Markiplier pretty much everywhere. Follow Bob, my skirm everywhere. Follow me if you want. I'm Minion777 or Lord Minion777. Listen, it changes. Whatever. It's not that important.
Do not follow us anywhere. Follow us right here. You got to give him one clear directive. One clear, pure, ultimate directive.
And they'll definitely do it if you do that.
Yes.
Send us ice cream.
Follow us multiple times. Listen to this
Chocolate
podcast on
ice
every
cream.
platform.
We got to get the follows.
I want the ice cream.
No, I'll buy you ice cream. No.
It's not as good as free ice cream. Podcast out.
What just happened?
I think I usurped your hosting.
Oh, well, I guess you won. You had the right.